Hey guys, I'm live. I'm broadcasting again as usual from Bakersfield, California. Welcome to the show today. One of the things we're gonna cover in the show is I'm gonna make some predictions. I think they're gonna happen this season. Um, yeah, I just kind of noticed I'm live. Eh, I want to make some predictions. I'm gonna call them bold predictions because who knows. Um, and we're going to talk a little more Iowa football recruiting. Since my last broadcast, we have had um, three or four commits. Excuse me. Okay, so how's everybody doing out there? Everybody survived their July 4th and nobody blew themselves up, I hope. Everybody had enough food to eat, everybody had enough music, um, everybody enjoyed themselves. Good. All right, let me first start out by what I want to do first, is I want to invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, we're slowly gaining subscribers, but I would like to gain subscribers at a little higher pace, guys. A little higher pace. Can we do that? I'd like to. Let's just say let's try to get to. We're almost halfway to 500. Let's say can we get 500 by kickoff at the 1st of September? When the Hawkeyes kick off against Utah State. Can we do that, guys? Can you guys help me get to 500? Let's do that. Let's share it. Share away, guys. Share the podcast away. Share it with your friends, your Hawkeye friends, your Husker fans, your Cyclone fans, friends. Do that. Your family. Just share it away, and let's see how many people we can get to join up on this show. All right. I was told by Jason. Jason and Paul are not here today. I was told by Jason that he got a few comments that maybe I'm not bringing enough energy on these solo podcasts, and it's hard, guys. It is hard to bring the energy, but I will do my best to bring some energy to it. All right, okay. So let's get right to it. Iowa wins. My first prediction. Okay, let me first clarify this. I had this written out a few days ago. Um, my bold predictions and stuff, and I was waiting on some recruiting news before I went live, and so I was kind of procrastinating, and on Star Three or On Three came out with their bold predictions yesterday, which also I think 247 Sports is also part of that On Three. I think same article came out with their bold predictions, so I had some of mine written first. Okay, I tweaked a couple, and maybe added some things that I didn't think about based on three, but that's at the end. I want you guys to know that they're very similar. Okay, so I'm gonna give OnStar credit for their bold predictions, but I wish I had it come out first before they did and hadn't waited a couple extra days. As a matter of fact, I was gonna do this yesterday, and but it was July 4th, so I didn't want to. Okay. My first bold prediction is I said Iowa wins 10 to 12 games. They're going to average 31 points a game. Um, yeah, that's going to more than enough to save to some people's dismay, to save Brian Ferentz's job. Uh, yeah, I just the reason to see it is I'm gonna explain to you reason why. Cade McNamara is going to have at least 2,000 yards passing, and I think 15 touchdowns. Okay, this is why I think we're going to have 31 points a game average, and why we win 10 to 12 games. Uh, the whole thing about winning 10, 12 games, guys. The schedule's there. I mean, it's there for the taking to win that many games. The only reason why I would say 10 is because Iowa traditionally tries, except for those special years, they have a tendency to stumble a game or two that we don't think that they should. You know, and we don't know. You know, Nebraska and Wisconsin got new coaches, and there's somewhat of a question mark right now. So maybe we lose those two. I don't know. I want to say that we're not going to, and that we're closer to 11 wins. Penn State's going to be a tough game to win, but it can be done. Hawkeyes can do it, guys. They can do it. We know they can do it. Um, I'm anxious to see those first three games against Utah State, Iowa State, and Western Missouri because I want to see what the Cade McNamara brings to the game, um, an improved O line brings to the game and stuff. So anyhow, so that's my bold prediction. I don't think Iowa loses. I mean, wins less than 10 games. I think they win 10 games, and the 31 points is because Kate McNamara, he is gonna get them into third down situations where he's gonna. We gave up. We had a lot of third downs last year, guys, and the last previous years, but we didn't make it and had to punt the ball. So we had a lot of 1, 2, 3 outs, which is why later on you'll see that Tory Taylor was on the field punting way more than we'd like to see him punt. Um, and so anyway, we'll cover that prediction later, and I'll explain that anyway. So and one thing it is Cade McNamara has a high percentage of completions when he's being blitzed. He reacts quickly. He sees his people quickly, more quicker than our previous quarterback. Okay, so I got a feeling we're gonna get in. We're gonna get in, and hopefully we don't get in a lot of third down situations, but I think we're gonna get more and more, less and less 3 and outs this year. Honestly, I believe we do. Okay, and keep in mind that average of 31 points a game is going to include any defensive touchdowns that we get. And okay, all right. So anyway, so I think Cade's gonna bring it. He's gonna be along the lines of a Nate Stanley um, type player. I don't look him, as the savior or the godsend to Iowa football. But Nate Stanley ran that offense efficiently. He had the second most yardage in Iowa football history, right behind Chuck Long. He had a lot of touchdown completions. I believe also he trailed Chuck Long on those. Um, and so basically, when you look at the offensive stats of Nate Stanley, he pretty much finished his career number two to Chuck Long on everything, and everybody loves Chuck Long. And I still, to this day, I can't still figure out why everybody hated Nate Stanley, because all Nate Stanley did was produce. All right. Um, so yeah, that's right. I'm kind of comparing Cade to McNamara to Nate Stanley. If he has those kind of numbers, Iowa will win, 10 to 12 games and probably 11 or 12. All right. Okay, here's another bold prediction. I believe Nico Ragahini is going to have Charlie Jones Purdue type numbers. You guys saw the gaudy numbers that Purdue put up for Charlie Jones. I believe that Nico he's gonna lead the team with catches, like he did Nate Stanley's last year. He's just gonna have that kind of a season, guys. He's just gonna have that kind of a season. And I just believe that he brings it this year. He brings it. Um, and so that is saying a lot that he's going to go back being the most catches on the team because in the previous years, our tight ends have been our leading catchers. Okay. And I'll come back to that in a little bit. All right. All right. Caleb Johnson. Is it Caden Johnson or Caleb Johnson? Okay. I call him KJ, so I better learn his first name real quick. He's going to have 1,000 yards rushing. We haven't had 1,000 yard rushing since our beloved. Oh, how soon we forget. The guy running for Green Bay Packers now. He had 1,200 yards his last year, and I borrowed that stat from On3. Um, They had him going. I think KJ at, I think they had him at 1,300 yards, 1,300 yards rushing, and so which would put him, the first 1,000-yard rusher since then. Um, okay, okay. Here's my five top pass catchers. Okay, guys, Nico is going to lead the team in catches. Okay, followed by our two tight ends, Eric All and Luke Lachey. And only reason why, I mean, because our tight ends are always among our top pass catchers, always. And after Nico, we had um probably our most guys. Well, let's just put it this way: our number four pass catcher on the team will be Caleb Brown. Um, OnStar has him as having the most yards per catch on the team, and I can see that with his speed. With his speed, he could probably lead the team in catches, but I don't know that he's going to get that many opportunities. He's going to get his share of opportunities, guys. He will. I promise you. Um, I just don't see him getting as many as Nico. I think Nico, Eric All, and Luke Lachey are the ones that are going to get the bulk of the catches, and then finally, my number five will be Dante Vines. I think this is his year for a breakout. I know he had catches last year, but this is a good breakout year for him. I think he should. I should think he'll do well. And honestly, guys, I couldn't come up with a six wide receiver, and I know there has to be one because we traditionally start. We have our top four wide receivers, and honestly, I don't know who that is, guys. If you guys got an idea who you think number four should be, um, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Let's bring out whoever should the number four wide receiver who should be. Anyway, but yeah, I think Nico, Eric, Luke, Caleb, and not Dante are our top five pass catchers. I think whoever else is six, seven, eight, or are in there. But these guys are going to get the bulk of the catches. These guys are going to do all the catching this year. Okay, X Man or Wampa, as you guys want, Xavier Wampa. I think he's going to have a huge breakout year, and I know OnStar wrote this too, and I'd already wrote that down. I really did. I think he just has a huge breakout year. He's had a year in the system now where he's actually had a chance to figure things out a little bit, and he came in at the last um, games of the season and showed what he can do. Okay, I believe Cooper DeJean will be a first team Big Ten defensive player. I believe he'll lead the team in picks. Um, I really do. He may have a pick six or two in there, but he's going to lead the team in picks this year. Um, I think the team has between 8 and 10 picks this season, maybe more. I really struggled with that one. I didn't really know where to put that number at. So we'll just say 10 picks this season and itself. So all right. So also now here's something. Usually we bring out a lot of six, seven, 6 or 7. We bring out 6 or 7 freshmen a year. They lose their eligibility to redshirt. Okay, they can play up to 4 games, and not lose their redshirt eligibility. I believe that there's only going to be 2 this year. Um, that will they'll exceed more than 4 games, and I believe that it's going to be Trevor Locke on the O line and Ben Keeter on the linebacker. A couple of places I believe need a little help and a little thin. Um, we'll see if Ben. I think it's going to be hard to keep Ben off the field. I really do. And Trevor Locke, I think it'll be hard to keep him off the field too. However, I said 2, but we might have as many as 4 because of the wide receiver position. I don't know how many else because honestly, I know that we brought in can't think of his name. The transfer. We have a wide receiver transfer portal coming in, and he probably will see that number 6 catch. Then he'll probably have the sixth spot in catches. We'll see how that goes. But I also thought if there was any room to bring in true freshman wide receivers, it would be Alex Mata, and Dayton Howard. I think those would be the two wide receivers that could see playing time. I think they'll definitely both see playing time. Whether they exceed the 4 games or not, it'll depend how they perform and how the other wide receivers perform. Um, but okay. All right. I had that. I think Nick Jackson will do a great job in replacing Jack Campbell out there. Um, I think he will also make Big Ten All Defensive Team. Um, and the thing is, and this is a little ditty that I picked up from on three in their bold prediction, is he had 3 straight seasons at Virginia of 100 tackles or more. Okay. And so OnStar, I just said he'll do a great job in replacing Jack Campbell. I don't know that he'll be a Jack Campbell, but they predicted that he'll have 110 tackles. OnStar did in their bold prediction. I don't know what to predict on that one right now, but I think with Nick Jackson's experience and playing at a Power Five Division One school, he's just gonna really bring it and show what he's capable of. And honestly, guys, I haven't done too much coverage on the transfer portal guys. So some of this stuff could change because some of these guys might play a key role this year in some of the transfer portals. All right, and then lastly, on my last bold prediction, I think we both on three and I both agreed. I had this one already. Is Tory Taylor should not need to punt as much as he did last year. Um, with the ball, we should be keeping the ball going. We should be keeping drives alive this year. We'll keep more drives alive than we did last year. We didn't keep a lot of drives alive, and so Tory Tory Taylor, according to OnStar, punted um, 80 times. The last 2 years, he punted as much as 80 times in a game, and his last year's average was only 43 yards a punt. Not bad, not bad. 43 yards. On on three thinks that they're predicting that he can get that up to 46 yards a punt, and I would agree that he can't do anything but increase that if he's not so tired from kicking the ball 80 times during the game. If he can just kick it half that time, that would be great. And so half as much as so 80 seems like a lot, guys. So a lot of punts. So maybe that's total over the last 2 seasons. That has to be total over the last 2 seasons because now that I think about that, Iowa would have had to have the ball 80 times for him to punt that much. So all season. So we'll see if that's true or not. Um, but yeah, let's just see if we can't cut that down this year and keep it going. So I know that there wasn't a lot of substance to my bold predictions, guys, but let's get yours out here. Let's see what you guys can do. There's a comment section over there. Comment. Tell me what you think. Did I hit the mark, or am I way off the mark, or what do you guys think? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Jason, who's not with us on this episode, and he'll be on another episode soon, I hope, where we'll do more of the offensive coverage from last year. And I believe State game is up next. Not Utah State. God. South Dakota State is up next in his agenda. And we're on Jason's timetable. His health is not doing great. And he's doing it when he feels strong, and he can do it, and he can go for an hour on it and show you guys some of the things that he sees on there. And I know that you guys appreciate some of the things that Jason sees on there because sometimes I miss it too. When he points out something, it's like, oh, yeah, I didn't see that before. And Jason's good at catching some of that stuff. Um, okay. All right, moving on. Okay. Well, anyway, Jason sent this to us. Um, you guys probably saw it on the webpage, the Facebook page. 3-star players drafted in the first round during the college football playoff era. Okay, guess who leads the Big Ten? Yeah, that go ahead. Iowa with 6. All right, then you got Ohio State with 4, Maryland with 3, Michigan State with 2, Wisconsin with 2, Northwestern with 2, Illinois with 1, and Michigan only 1. Can you believe that? Michigan only 1. But I guess that's because Michigan and Ohio State are too busy having the 4 and 5-star recruits get drafted, right? That's probably what it is. And so, um, but here's a note: Penn State has had 0. But again, we don't want to discredit Penn State because they have more 5-star and 4-star recruits than we have. You know, so what this is saying to me is, oh, by the way, the other 0 people are Nebraska, Minnesota, Purdue, and Indiana. Um, no surprises there right now. But what this tells me is that Iowa's good at finding the gems, the rough stars or the raw talent, and develop them the way they like to see them. And these guys develop into true NFL players. The 3 stars, the 2 stars, they bring in, or the walk-ons they bring in. So Iowa is a true, I hated to admit it before, but Iowa being a developmental program, that's what they are. They are. They find the diamonds in the rough, and they just go about doing the best that they can and bringing these guys along. Sometimes they fail. We've seen that. Some of these guys we've heard a lot of good examples about don't go on and do anything later on. But how many of these guys have we seen that started out as walk-ons or 3 stars, 2-star people that they've had a great career at Iowa? They've done enough to get drafted in the first round, and so they weren't, highly committed, or not highly committed, but highly recruited people. And that's I love Iowa's evaluation. They find the people that they know they can train up, that are coachable, that are eager, that they want to play for Iowa, and they want to play the Iowa way. They stand with the Iowa culture. These guys seem like a tight knit group. They really do, and so my hats off to the coaching staff. They've done a great job. Okay, now while I'm saying that about the coaching staff, we all know that Kirk's going to be leaving probably between now and I believe the 2029 season or the 2028 season is his last season under contract. Okay, so Kirk's going to be leaving probably before then. I would say, it depends. Like, he could even leave this season if Iowa has the kind of season that we think they can have. You know, make the Big Ten title game. They win the Big Ten title game. Maybe they've done enough to have themselves in a position to be in the playoffs. Um, it's only 4 teams this year, guys. Next year we go to 12. I would say they'd be in a better position to make the 12-team playoff than they would be a 14 playoff, but we'll see. We'll see. But I would think if Iowa did that, Kirk would say, okay, enough's enough. I'm tired of this. He's 68 right now, or will be 68 before the season starts. The guy's gonna, how much is he says he's gonna go as long as he has fun coaching football, and he has fun coaching football. Okay, so he does that. I don't blame him, but also think about this, guys. Think about this. He's a grandfather. He's a father. You know, his grandkids are starting to grow up a little bit. Okay, don't you think he wants to spend some time with those grandchildren and not spending all because college football has become a pretty much a year-round business now. Um, and so, yeah, you know, my guess is by the time he's 70, he's gone. He's gone. Okay, so here's what I'm saying: is I feel like we've got. Oh gosh, guys. Well, if I don't write this stuff down before the show starts, I forget. Um, but our special teams coordinator, I think, would make a great head coach, and I believe most Hawkeye fans think he should be our next head coach too. So we're out there recruiting 2025 guys, and I don't think anybody in the 2025 class will see Kirk all 4 years. Okay. So how do you keep from losing that 2025 class, and how do you keep your momentum in recruiting? You name your successor now, you know, and let him have a hand in helping you recruit, which he does. So he recruits and he helps you recruit, and the players know there's going to be some stability to the program because, if you name your head coach early, he's not likely going to chase off all the other assistant coaches. Maybe a couple that he doesn't get along with or something, but he's not going to chase off them guys. He's not going to chase off all those assistant coaches, and that's going to do well. It did well with the Ohio State program when they named their successor coach early. Who else did? Who else has done that where they named their successor coach early and it paid off well? Oklahoma. Oklahoma did that. They named their successor coach early too, and it paid off well for that coach. And now he's at USC, making you actually he's doing a lot better job I think at USC than he did at Oklahoma. So that's what under the coaching philosophy. I'm not making a bold statement about that this is Kirk's last year because I don't believe it truly is. I believe he's going to go 1 or 2 more years. But I think before he does, they need to make get together with the new AD coming up, the new interim AD, and come up with a plan to transition to the next coach for Kirk Ferentz when he leaves. I just don't think we should leave it to like they did Hayden Fry. Hayden Fry was sick his last couple of years. He had cancer and he didn't recruit well. He left the cupboard bare. He left the cupboard bare for Kirk Ferentz, and then when Kirk Ferentz got here, I remember he chased off a lot of players that were pretty decent because they didn't fit his culture, they didn't fit his mold. But the ones that stuck around, it took 2 years for a winning season, and then it took 3 years. He had 2 losing seasons, a winning season, and then in his fourth season, the program took off, and had 3 consecutive 10-win seasons. I believe one of those was 11, but had 11, 3 consecutive 10. Hit a little skid there with some average things, but for the most part, Kirk has had this Iowa Hawkeye squad flying high. I mean, but Iowa is a development program. People do leave, things change, and people. This is all leading up to my recruiting part, guys. And so this is all leads to why sometimes we have a low in spots like this explains our last 2 seasons with the O line not being efficient on their job. I mean, Jason will disagree and say that the O line did good. Paul will disagree and said the O line did okay. That they were only minor role in what happened last year. I still believe they were more major than minor, but that's fine. Okay, so let's get on with the recruiting because that recruiting is the key. It's recruiting the people that you want, keeping them healthy, keeping them from leaving the school early, keeping them happy. All right. So I think I covered in my last video. I covered Reese Vanderzee. He's a wide receiver, 6'5", 190 pounds, 123 in his position, and number 11 overall athlete in the state of Iowa, football player. The one thing that we didn't cover is he was a pitcher for his high school baseball team, which is still playing and getting ready for the state playoffs. Okay, but he pitched a no hitter in his last game out, and he's had 61 strikeouts in 4 games. Guys, honestly, I hope this is the last he does of baseball. I don't want to lose another good player like we did Brody Breck to baseball permanently. Okay, so he's the number 14 commit. I'm sure I covered him. The number 15 commit was Gavin Hoffman at tight end, 6'5", 220. Okay, he's 48. He's out of Overland Park, Kansas, and he's number 44 in his position, number 8 overall football player in the state of Kansas. That's pretty good. Now, Number 16, KJ Parker, is listed as an athlete, but also as a wide receiver. And this is for the 2024 class, guys. So we're not going to see these guys come to the rescue until next year. He's from Elmhurst, Illinois, and he's 5'11", 165 pounds. You would think this guy's pretty small. Um, but maybe he's kind of shifty enough that he can get in there and snag some balls out of the air and where he can't be seen. But he's listed 118th at his position and 23rd overall in the state of Illinois. Okay. All right. Our latest commit is our commit number 17, Joseph Anderson. He's an edge rusher out of St. Louis. He has 3 stars. He's 6'5", but only 210 pounds. This guy's got to be really skinny. This guy we're probably not going to see for a couple of years on the field because this guy's going to need to bulk up and put some weight on, really. But he is an edge rusher, so we also want him to be fast, but we want him to get off those blocks, the blocks, really quickly and get to the quarterback, get in the backfield. But he is a 3 star. Iowa's really high on him. He's number 73 in his position and number 15 in the state of Missouri. So you have those guys. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if we'll see Joseph Anderson for 1 or 2 seasons. I think it depends on where the coaching staff wants him. Maybe I'm wrong to think that 6'5" at 210 is just not going to be strong enough to shake off some of those blocks that he needs to work out and commit himself and just to get off the blocks. Okay. Iowa also has been very busy on its 2025 recruiting trail, guys. Really good with that, and they got their first commit in Joy Vander Wetzinga. He's an O line, D line. They don't know where he's going to play yet. They're just going to let him come. They just wanted to get him in here and get him going. He has a brother who's a freshman, true freshman this year. His brother is a walk on currently. I want to let me bring that up real quick. I'm going to bring that up while we're talking about it. Okay. Almost there, guys. Okay. Football roster. Okay. Oh, guys, too. Going back. I forgot about T.J. Hall. I mean, he made some rookie mistakes last year, but I think he's in a position to have a nice breakout year himself. Um, oh yeah, Jason Bostic could probably be the other number 6 receiver for us this year too. Um, like I said, I had a hard time finding someone. And behind Jazian Patterson and Caleb Johnson and Williams, LaShawn Williams, running back. Those guys will be our top 3 running backs. But I think Terrell Washington has a chance to get in there and get a few carries as well. Okay, I'll get there, guys. I'll get there in a minute. Just bear with me on this. Here's a guy I wouldn't mind seeing at least get some special teams work done. I think he has in the past. Is Caden Wetjen. Um, I have met and talked to quite a bit of great uncle, his great uncle, quite a bit, and this kid is really. It sounds like he's something special. He's got a lot of speed. Doesn't sound like he's getting a lot of opportunities, and it'd be nice to see this guy get some opportunities to play. we'll go over more what I think our two deeps will look like after we get to see it. Okay, so his brother is a fullback, Rusty Van Wentzinga, and so he's a freshman right now, and his weight's 230. So Rusty he could carry on the tradition of fullback. As we know, fullbacks don't carry the ball a lot anymore. In Iowa's system, they carry it rarely, but they do carry it once in a while. They're more of a blocker, or they're more of a tight end, or sometimes they're kind of a blocker combination tight end type player as well. But Iowa uses that position in a lot of variety of ways and stuff. And just kind of let me go through this. This will kind of help me look at some of the names that we possibly could see for wide receiver this year from the transfer portal. Rusty Feth should fit into the old line really. I think he'll be a plug and play guy this year. And it'd be nice to have our whole O line. He's at 310, but wouldn't it be nice to have the whole O line over 300 pounds and not let any defensive line push us around? Yeah, I think Mason Richmond is also a guy who's going to have a huge breakout year for us, guys. A huge breakout year. Oh, excuse me. Um, we're gonna wrap this up here pretty quick. Yeah, I'm overlooking who the transfer portal person was for wide receiver. I don't see that right now. I'll go back and look at the beginning. Maybe his number's going to be lower. We have Dante Vines. We have Caleb Brown. Seth Anderson is the one I was looking for. Seth Anderson has a possibility of getting in there and having a decent year too. It's funny because in the somebody did a simulated game on the voice of college football, and Anderson is the one who's doing the return catch, who's doing the punt returns and kickoff returns instead of Cooper DeJean, who I think a lot of people are expecting Cooper DeJean to handle those duties this year, but maybe they don't want to get Cooper hurt. Maybe they want to make sure he makes it through the season for Iowa, and they use an Anderson because anyway. Anderson and Bostic could be those other guys coming up and covering that number 6 spot for the wide receiver catching spot. So that would be your top. That'll be your top 7 receivers. I don't know that we'll see any more than that unless Wet Jen. There's a possibility that Wet Jen could play some spot. I hope he does. He's my underdog player for the year. Um, every year I have underdog player. My underdog player this year is Wet Jen. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope I brought a little more energy to it for you. I hope I brought a little more information to you. I hope you guys enjoy watching it. Um, the show. I noticed that people were in and out of the show all day and no comments. So I hope I didn't bore you to death, or you just didn't feel it was worth your time to uh, leave a comment or ask a question. Some of my best shows are when you guys interact and we get 4 or 5 of you going and we got good discussion going through the thing. I want to get that more often than we have. Today we didn't get that, but it is a work day. It is the middle of the day. So maybe for lunch you guys can settle down and watch us for lunch for you. Okay. Although that's only 9:40 a.m. here in Bakersfield. So, but yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I working on, and as soon as the singles ticket seasons become available, if it's not sold out, I plan to be at the Purdue game, and I'll do some live. live stuff from the Purdue game. Um, the first Saturday in October. That's my plan as of now. I mean, things could change, but you never know. But that's the game I plan to be at, guys. I'm gonna go with my grandson, I hope, and I hope it's gonna be a good day. So, but other than that, I'm gonna let you out of here, not bore you. Don't forget to subscribe. Smash that subscribe button on YouTube, and if you hit the little bell thingy with it, I believe it will notify you every time I go live, and so. But do that. Do me a favor and just share it and just you know love on it. Just love on the show. Hit the like button too that you like it. Leave some comments even after you're watching this show non live. Okay, guys, I'm gonna see you later, and we'll talk to you later. I'm gonna get out and just and have fun. All right, let's say have a good day, everybody. Have a good rest of the week, and go Hawkeyes. Football season's coming. We're in July, and that means within a couple of weeks the Big Ten media days will be coming, and then the Hawkeye media days are coming, and then Iowa camp opens up in August. Yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Excitement's coming. Go Hawks.